So the special election here in Tennessee turned out the right way, but no, everything isn't hunky-dory. President Trump endorsed Matt Van Epps won the seat, beating out that psycho lib Aftyn Behn by about 9 points. And while that's great news, like thank God, it's still unsettling. That election in a Trump plus 20 district in deep ruby red Tennessee should have been a blowout, a landslide, an absolute shellacking, and it wasn't. So why the hell not? Well, as someone who lives in the Nashville area, I can give you my hot take. The GOP slept on this election up until the 11th hour. The social media strategy was shit. The ground game was almost non-existent, and the energy was with the psycho lib. That ain't gonna cut it in next year's midterms. Trump can't do everything, and he can't fireman carry every Republican candidate in every race for eternity. The too big to rig effort from Trump and the RNC last year was crucial, and it needs to be implemented in every single election. Because the days of the GOP doing some high-dollar banquet fundraiser and calling it good enough are over. 911, this is a wake-up call. Wake up. I'm happy to talk to you again. I have a lot to talk to you about. I have to start with the Tennessee special election.
Okay.
I see conservatives celebrating, a Republican won the seat. That's great. Mm-hmm. And you walk away with a victory. You celebrate your victories, right? But I was so disappointed in the campaign. I was disappointed in the complacency of the Republican Party at large. It seemed like they only got excited maybe 2 weeks ahead of the special election. And to me,
did they get excited or did they panic?
Panic. Yeah. Maybe that's a better explanation. What was your take on everything that happened?
There's a lot about Matt Van Epps in the state of Tennessee that is a lot of baggage. I mean, there's a lot. He was Bill Lee's COVID czar during the lockdowns and shutdowns. In my opinion, he made some really bad calls. Things that should not have happened in our state happened under his watch. And I think a lot of Tennesseans, a lot of conservatives really held that against him. And we're not excited to vote for him. So I think you saw a really supercharged left behind Aftyn, and you had a really lackadaisical right because of a lot of that baggage that he was carrying around. And to your point, I didn't really see him on a campaign trail. I didn't see him. He was kind of invisible, whereas Aftyn's out there just pounding the pavement. I mean, and she's nuts, but you got to respect the work ethic. I mean, she went after it and made it a close race.
She had the energy and the passion behind her, which, again, I don't appreciate her politics. I don't appreciate her stalking ICE agents. I don't appreciate the things that she said about at-home abortions, about families, about Christians, about Nashville. I didn't appreciate any of that. Yeah. But when I looked at her ground game, I have a rental. I'm not in the district, but I have a rental property in the district. And when I was at the rental property, there was a door knocker. Here, vote for Aftyn Behn.
Oh, yeah.
I never saw that on the Van Epps side. And I know that he brought out Speaker Johnson and Tim Burchett and others. And, that's great at the 11th hour.
But we're not voting for them.
Right. So It was concerning to me. And I know that, at the end of the day, the seat is won. The biggest thing is the Republican majority in the House, I guess, is saved for now.
Well, he's going to have to run again in 26.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what, about a year? He's going to have to do it again.
Right.
So I hope they learn some lessons about what not to do, because he'll get challenged again. I mean, the left getting that close to beating him, that gives them a lot of gas in the tank. They're like, if we just had 4 or 5% more, we would have won the seat. So they're going to be coming at him with everything they got in 26.
And they're competitive in red areas. They're competitive and they're spending money in areas where maybe formerly they wouldn't have even tried. They're trying and they're outperforming what we'd expect. And to me, that's going to say in the midterms, I think when we looked at the elections earlier with New Jersey and we looked at the election in Virginia, it's like, all right, a Democrat was probably going to win, okay? Right. And there were some gains made in places. You look at New York City, the Mamdani thing. I mean, they were going to vote for a Democrat. It was going to be Cuomo or him.
Right.
But this, to me, is more indicative of where we are heading into the midterms and the work that the GOP needs to do. I don't see the energy and passion that's going to be needed to make sure that we save majorities. And I'm wondering what you think is the best course of action for the GOP.
Best course of action is to nominate people who are America first and unapologetically so. They need to speak with fire and brimstone about their country. They cannot be in the middle. They cannot be politicians speak, I mean, they don't even talk like humans. Have you noticed that? The politicians that do the best are like the Tim Burchetts, the guys who walk around in a Carhartt jacket. He's got his iPhone on. He goes, "Hey, y'all, I'm here in D.C. again. I'm doing the best I can, but this place is a total shithole." You know, I mean, he's just talking like a regular guy, and we go, "Yeah, he talks like us." And we know it's really a sacrifice for him to do that job. He hates it, but he's trying to help the country.
Right.
You can tell he hates it. He does not like it at all, but he's trying to help his country. It's actual service job to him. So it starts with nominating people like that, people who really don't want to have to do it, but they're going to do it because the country needs them. And I think this career politician look and vibe that a lot of the rhinos put forward, those guys are going to be in big trouble because that does not excite people like me. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people in the Republican Party who are not our friends. They're not. I hear what they say after the rally, after the fundraiser, when they're sitting around having a cocktail or a cigar and nobody's listening, and I hear how they talk. They don't talk like you talk or like I talk. They don't. And people can see through that. The regular American voter can see it. They can sense it and go, I don't like that. And so we got to nominate the right people.
Some were saying that how well Aftyn Behn did was also a referendum on President Trump. I was asked that, does this mean that people that are Trump voters are moving away from him? And I don't think that that was the case at all.
No.
I don't think that that's what we saw. I don't think that was the message.
They just weren't excited about Van Epps.
Yeah. Or they just weren't excited to go out and vote, maybe in general. Maybe they didn't know a lot about him. But I think also the left is very energized and they're out for blood and they'll do whatever they have to do. And they've got the grassroots organization that the right has never really had other than President Trump because he excited the grassroots. But I said it in my intro. I think there are a lot of people in red states that run as Republicans that think they can do a fancy high-dollar dinner in a mansion in Franklin and call it a day. And that's all that they need. And I don't think that's going to work anymore.
It's not. It's not going to work. It's against what I said. You have to, first of all, you got to be the real deal. I mean, the American voter can tell if you are bullshitting them or not. They can tell. I mean, they see somebody talking, they go, I don't believe a word that just came out of his mouth. I don't care if he's a Republican. I don't like that guy, right? You know people like that. We see them all the time. And you go, give me a break. I mean, this is not a game. There's so much at stake in our country. If the left wins, we all know what's going to happen. I mean, Biden was a preview. They ever get back in there, Lord have mercy, what they're going to do. So we have to have actual, so I keep going back to people like Tim Burchett. It's like, I trust what that guy says because I can see the pain on his face that he even has to be there in the first place. He'd rather be back on his farm feeding his donkey a carrot than walking through the halls of Congress, but he's doing it because he's a patriot and he's America first and he's trying to make a difference. Those are the kind of people we have to nominate.
As far as what we hope will be Governor Marsha Blackburn, there's going to be an open seat. Is there anybody that's standing out to you for that Senate seat?
I like Tim.
Is he in the running for that Senate seat?
I don't know who's in the running.
She has to appoint somebody.
The governor has to appoint. Yeah, so it's interesting. If Marsha becomes the governor, she will appoint the person to take her seat.
Right.
So that's a question for her. I don't know, but I really like Tim. I mean, I think if he was one of 100 instead of one of 454, however many it is, he would have more impact. Maybe there's some other good names in the state. He's probably my favorite Tennessee guy right now.
No, I think he's great.
Yeah.
He represents Tennessee.
Maybe you should be a senator.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the speeches you would give on the floor?
It would be exciting. That's not really what I want to do. That doesn't sound like I'm like Tim. Like I much rather do this.
Yeah, and you have impact doing what you're doing.
And I think that throwing Tim's name out there, I didn't even know that was really on the table because I thought she was going to pick someone outside. But that's a good option.
He'd be great.
You're right.
You know, and he's in a really strong red district, so his seat would be safe. Somebody else good, he would endorse somebody to run for his seat, and they would win.
You're right.
I'd like to see that.
I would too. Well, now I'm all in on this because I agree with you. I like him. I've met him. I see him even on unfriendly media networks, and he does a great job. And people just like him. Even if you're on the left, people like him.
He calls AOC Cortez.
Yeah. No, they're friends.
I saw Cortez out in the hallway, and, you know, she's crazy, but I like Cortez all right, you know. I mean, I'm like, that's the kind of guy you want.
Yeah.
I don't like anything about what you stand for, but I'm going to go in here and try to work with you and figure something out.
I agree.
Yay.
Now that's what we need.
Yes.
And somebody who's just genuinely likable
Yeah.
would do a lot. And it really represents Tennessee. Hey, thanks for watching. If you want more of my hottest takes, must-see conversations, and of course, my final thoughts, click here. And make sure you subscribe here so you never miss a beat. I'll be here weekly, and I hope you'll join me.